You are listening to A Path to New You, a podcast about mental health and veterans issues. I am your host, Timothy Zarumsky. I am a veteran, a Navy veteran, and a therapist, and I'm located in Madison, Wisconsin. Today's topic, I want to talk about self care. Now, I cannot preach this enough to my clients and to everyone who I know as friends and all that. Self care is extremely important. And I hope in today's episode you learn a little bit about what self care is. Maybe some of you already know what self care is, and some of you may not. So, today's topic, I think, is a very important topic. So, what exactly is self care? Self care can range from physical activities like taking a bath to social activities like catching up with friends to mental activities like taking a break. So again, it's self-care. It could pretty much be anything. Self-care involves conscious participation in activities that promote healthy functioning and enhance a person's well-being and quality of life. It helps reduces stress, boosts self-confidence, and improves overall happiness. So again, self-care can range from pretty much anything from physical activities to like taking a bath, taking a shower, taking a bath, taking a shower, hanging out with friends, and so on. And a mental activity too, such as a social break. Taking a break would mean getting away from an environment, like going into another room where it's quiet and just sitting down and like relaxing. That could be a mental break. So again, what is self-care? While self-care can mean different things for different people, it is a broad term that covers what a person does or engages in to improve or preserve their physical and mental well-being. I kind of just mentioned that not too long ago. The World Health Organization defines self-care as the ability of individuals, families, in communities to promote health, prevent disease, maintain health, and cope with illness and disability with or without the support of a healthcare provider. Healthcare provider would be someone like me as a therapist, your primary care doctor, a psychologist, psychiatrist. So, pretty much anyone who works in the healthcare field, nurses as well. Most people already practice self care to stay healthy. This includes eating healthy foods, taking medications, and doing physical activities. About 6.7% of the US population practice a form of health self care on a daily basis. There was a survey done in 2020 that also found that 7 in 10 Americans are aware of their needs for self care. So, what are some examples? Some examples would be like physical health. Self care includes activities that make a person feel physically well and maintain their physical health. A 2016 study on self care practices of college students found that practices like sleep hygiene and food habits are positively associated with student engagement, persistence, and performance. These include getting enough sleep. Doctors, studies out there say an average person should be getting about 8 hours of sleep. An adult, children, and adolescents should be getting about ten hours of sleep. Eating healthy food like fruits, vegetables, getting enough proteins and whatnot. Going for a walk, drinking plenty of water, practicing good personal hygiene, like taking showers, taking baths, cleaning up, and all that stuff. Mental health, self care for mental health encompasses everything a person does to keep a healthy relationship with their mind. These include activities that keep the mind focused and engaged, like brain stimulating activities. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, self care can have several benefits to a person's mental health. These include lowering the risk of illness, boosting energy levels, reducing stress. Some of these examples could be, reading a book, getting regular exercise, like going for a walk, going to the gym, some strength training, some regular exercise, learning a new hobby or skill, listening to a podcast like mine, practicing mindfulness. I think I did an episode on mindfulness not too long ago. I think I did. Mindfulness would be like being in the moment. So I did talk about that earlier in a different episode. So again, if you haven't listened to all my episodes, I do have quite a few. I would like you to go back and listen to all of them. Emotional self care is another one. This would individuals navigate their feelings, increase empathy, and learning coping mechanisms to deal with difficult emotions. Some of these could include journaling, meditating, practicing self compassion and gratitude, listening to music, and being aware of one's boundaries and implementing them. Also, another one would be spiritual self care. This would again, uh, examples would be engaging in prayer and or meditation, attending a worship service like church, doing yoga, self reflection, walking in the nature, or attending a retreat of some sort. And there's a few other examples too. Social life self care would mean hanging out with friends, just being socially active, going to like groups. Could be any kind of group. Going out groups who are doing the same hobbies as you. A 2018 study found that loneliness and a lower perceived social support are associated with poorer outcomes in mental health conditions such as depression, schizophrenia, and anxiety disorders. So just being out there with other people definitely helps with our self-care. And there's a few other ones. I'll post this article on my Facebook page too. They go on to talk about like workplace self-care. That would mean hanging out with your coworkers um, after after working hours, and that stuff too. So why is self-care important? Looking after yourself is crucial to living a healthier and happy life. Amid increasingly busy lives, everybody seems really busy. Even myself, I've been extremely busy lately. That's why I haven't done an episode in a few weeks, almost not quite a month, but close to a month. I've been really busy. So with all the busy lives and stuff, it can be easy to forget about looking after yourself. But engaging in self care can help people feel better in different areas of their lives, including their health, relationships, and work. Self care behaviors are crucial for a healthy lifestyle and can lead to improved physical and psychological health. This in turn can boost individual and social well-being. In 2018, study on U.S. medical students findings show that engaging in various self-care practices resulted in lower perceived stress and higher quality of life. They also have greater resiliency and a lower risk of higher levels of distress and training. So that was a 2018 study done on medical students. Med school, I didn't go to med school, but I heard med school can be really difficult, stressful, and yeah, consumes a lot of time. So yeah, those students are extremely busy as well. And I noticed that too when I was going for my doctorate degree after I was done with my classes. I started my dissertation, and just working on our dissertation, that was like a part-time job because I was doing probably about 20 to 30 hours a week working on it. 20, 30 hours a week. There's a lot of researching, gathering information, and all that stuff. So I had to take some time off of that because that took up a lot of my time. I was working plus I was doing my dissertation. So I had no time to go out and hang out with friends or anything like that. So yeah, I had to take some time off. I might go back eventually, but not right now. So again, there's barriers to self-care as well. Some of them I just mentioned about being busy, feeling selfish or guilty, like that's saying no to somebody because you can't do something. You might feel a little guilty because of that. Um, yeah. So a routine, just having a routine of self-care is very important as well. Um, the routine means just doing self-care every day, just doing something every day, like self-care. For example, going to the gym, working out every day, doing yoga every day for about 10, 15 minutes, just practicing a routine that definitely helps. That helps with your self-care and all that stuff too. Routine self-care is important. I just mentioned that not too long ago. Like I said, routine self-care is important when someone is not experiencing any symptoms of illness, but self-care becomes essential when illness occurs, especially when you're stressed out or sick. Self-care becomes very important then. General benefits of routine self-care could include prevention of illness, improved mental health, and a better quality of life. So having a routine of practicing self-care can prevent illness, improve your mental health, and overall, you'll have a better quality of life. Self-care practices vary from individual to individual. I've been mentioned that earlier in this podcast. Self-care is seen as a partial solution to the global rise in healthcare costs that is placed on governments worldwide. Again, I want to mention that again. Self-care is seen as a partial solution to the global rise in healthcare costs that is placed on governments worldwide. So, what does that mean? That means those who practice self care, or if you practice self care, that means your mental health will be improved, or you'll have a good mental health. You're doing the self care actually prevents illness, which means you will not be going to the doctor as much, right? So that means you practice self-care, get a routine self-care going. It definitely benefits you from not going to the doctor, and the global rise and the healthcare costs will go down. The rise or the cost of the healthcare costs will go down if you continue to practice self-care. Again, practice self-care could mean going to the gym, working out, meditating, hanging out with friends. I'm just giving all examples. Everybody's different. You could go to a movie, watch a movie at home. I know I'm a huge sports guy, so my self-care would be going to a game, going to a concert, watching a game at home on TV. Again, it varies on individual per individual. What are some of the factors influencing self-care? There are numerous factors that affect self-care. These factors can be grouped as personal factors like person, problem, environment, external factors, and processes. Personal factors could mean like lack of motivation, you're just not motivated enough. When you don't have enough energy, this can cause by stress, anxiety, or other mental health illnesses. So lack of motivation is like I just don't want to do that. I just can't. And which can be caused by stress. Also, support from others, such as family, friends, can be a crucial to having a healthy and positive mindset to do self care. Access to care, depending on the self care, some require specific resources or objects in order to carry it out. External factors could mean the living situation that can affect individual self care, the surrounding environment as well. Um, your proximity of healthcare facilities. I did mention about self care, how that helps you from going to see your doctor. However, practicing self care also means going to see your doctor every now and then, like follow up visits, making sure you're healthy and all that stuff too. So that definitely helps. Cultural beliefs as well, gender roles, family relationships, all kinds of different factors. And then when you're not doing all that self care, you know, for example, I'd say 8 years ago, maybe a little bit more than 8 years ago, I was working 60 hours a week, 60 to 70 hours a week. And so I wasn't really taking care of myself. I wasn't doing self care. And I got burnt out. And trust me, being burnt out, that sucks. I hated it. I just wanted to quit. I didn't want to do anything anymore. And everything and anyone who I talked to just, excuse my language, but pissed me off. I was just mad. I felt bloated. I was burnt out. And, eventually I had to quit that job because I was just can't do it anymore because I was working 60, 70 hours a week and I just couldn't do it anymore. So, yeah, self care definitely prevents burnout. Taking care of yourself. You could just self care, just eating healthy, taking a day off or two from work. I know most of us have like five-day work weeks. Use those 2 days you're not working to do some self care. Do some self care before work. It's like 10, 15 minutes before you go to work. Do like a meditation. Do yoga. Go out for a walk if it's nice out in the morning before you go. Have a cup of coffee. Watch, I don't know, I watch Sports Center or MLB Network every morning when I get up, especially during baseball season. I like watching the highlights. Yeah, it just takes 10, 15 minutes a day, even after work too. Just a lot. I know. Several people go to the gym after work because they can't get up early enough to go to the gym. And just 10, 15 minutes of self-care definitely does a lot. All right, keep hanging out with friends. I know during COVID we were all locked up. We couldn't go out. Now is the time where you can hang out with friends and hang out with your people. Just start doing that once a week. Anyway, I hope you learned something from this episode of self-care. If you did not know what self-care was before this episode, I hope you have an understanding what self-care is. Maybe you didn't know, but you were doing everything I was talking about, and now you realize, you know what, that is self-care. Okay. You can find my podcast on most major platforms. I am gonna try to get on YouTube later today, but again, it's on major platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, and I might be missing one or two, but I'm gonna try to get on YouTube later today. Again, it's all free. Even if you don't have a Spotify account, you can create one. It's pretty easy. Just go in, get an email, make a password up, and you'll be able to listen to my podcast for free. But again, YouTube, it should be on YouTube here shortly, probably by the end of the day today, and you'll be able to listen to it on YouTube. I am also looking for more guests on the show. I've had a couple the last couple months. I have like one or two people who are going to be on here eventually. But if you know someone who works in the mental health field or is a veteran and you think they'd be a great guest on this show, you can reach out to me. I do have a Facebook page for this podcast. It's called The Path to New You. I'll post a link in the section where it talks about what this episode is about. I put a little summary. When you go to Spotify or any other platforms, you can see what the episode's about in there. I'll post a link to my Facebook page, A Path to New You. You can contact me through there. I also have a Facebook page for my private practice, New Beginnings Counseling LLC, and I'll post that link on there too. If you have questions or you want to contact me, you can reach me there through Messenger, or you can just comment on one of my posts that I do on one of those Facebook pages. Again, you are listening to A Path to New You. Have a good rest of the day and be well.